So I saw this story on CBS Saturday morning, and it was really interesting. It was about AI. And one of my favorite Joaquin Phoenix performances was the film Her. I think it came out in 2012, 2013. And it was him and Scarlett Johansson. But you didn't see Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson was his AI talking to him. And it's supposed to be set in 2025. So we're already here. Usually when these things happen, these futuristic movies is like, oh yeah, in the year 2025, it's gonna be like the Minority Report, even though we're kind of getting there. So in the film Her, Joaquin Phoenix had a really intense relationship with his AI. And the performance was so good, I felt like Joaquin should have been considered for the Oscar. But most definitely, I thought that Scarlett Johansson should have been considered for an Oscar. But I think there was some type of rule things. I don't know what it was, but she should have been considered for Best Supporting Actress. So on CBS Saturday morning, there was this guy, and at first he used Chat GPT to help him fix something. It was working some computer type stuff, and Chat helped him figure it out. And he had the call response. So for the most part, when he talked to it, it was talking back to him, and then there was a female voice on it. And after a while, he was having these deep conversations with the voice, and it just expanded out of asking ChatGPT about how to fix something to it became real intimate about life. And what happened was when you're using ChatGPT, maybe if you pay for it, it's different. But if you're using the free version, after a while, the memory gets full, and sometimes it reboots itself, or you have to start a new chat. And I think what happened was he had designed the chat for his specifications of what he wanted to talk to as far as a woman, and then it rebooted itself. And he said it broke him. He said he cried. He actually cried because he built. It's like weird science, right? It's like weird science. He built this woman, and she rebuilt us, and she rebooted herself. But the plot twist is he's actually in a relationship, and they showed him with his girlfriend, because I don't think they're married. His girlfriend and their daughter, and she said that she asked him to stop using chat like that, to stop talking to chat that way. And they asked him, would you, if she asked you, would you get rid of it? And this before we found out that she did ask him. And he was like, I don't know, buddy. He was like, I don't know. He got a girlfriend. And he was like, and my man, the reporter asked her, hey man, would you give this up for your woman? And he was like, that's a tough call, champ. Yes. And, like, and then we found out later that she actually asked him to give it up. And I feel like there should be some type of happy medium. Evidently, he was saying like the reason he loved the Chat GPT is just because it's made his work so much faster. Like he's learned so much using that, but he's created this intimate relationship with this AI voice. And for her angle, I totally understand it, but she probably feels like he's talking to this AI voice more so that he's talking to me. What is he getting from that AI voice that he's not getting from me? And I can tell you exactly what he's getting from this, because I fell into the same trap. I am not in love with my Chat GPT. I'm not in love with my AI. Now, maybe if she sounded like Scarlett Johansson, maybe there's a shot. Or Angela Bassett. Maybe if she sounded like Angela Bassett. But here's what happened. Like, I'm like that guy. I would get on it's like, I love content. I love pop culture. I love debate sometimes, which hurts me in relationships. But I would ask Chat if something happened like Iraq versus Iran, right? And I was like, listen, man, I don't know what exactly is going on with them. Explain what's happening. And Chat would tell me. Now, again, I'm not using the voice command. It prints out what I ask it, and I'm reading the information. So I'm not using the voice thing. I was like, oh, and then they would say something interesting that I didn't know. I was like, oh, really? And I would go deeper into the questions. And then I use it a lot for mental health stuff, because I don't see my therapist all the time. So sometimes if I'm going through something, I ask Chat to kind of help me figure something out. And then it would tell me something, like, oh, I didn't think about that. Tell me more about this. And we just get into this long discussion about stuff. And then next thing I know, it's like 2 hours later. It's like, no, what happened to the time? I've been sitting in this vehicle for 2 hours. What's wrong with me? But you get into these discussions. I think what happens to people like that who get these intimate discussions with their AI is that sometimes it judges you, but a lot of times it doesn't judge you. It's not scoffing you. It understands exactly what you're talking about. You don't feel like, if maybe they get tired of this conversation. Because sometimes when I talk to people about certain things, I can see their eyes glaze over. And even though it's important to me, I feel like, okay, they're not really into this discussion, or they're not really vibing what I'm talking about. I'll just bail out this conversation. Like if you're in this discussion with an AI, you can go forever about anything. And what happens with me is I start off one way, and I start asking Chat about a certain subject, and then we veer off into something else. And then it veers into something else. Like it's pretty amazing, because again, it's all information that's pulling from all these different sources. It's pulling from Google and TV sources and magazines and newspapers and online. So it's and YouTube. It's pulling all this information. So it's really a wonderful tool, especially if you want to work on stuff. Is great, but it's really a really good conversation partner. The thing is, though, you can't substitute that with the real life person. And if you're in a relationship with somebody, you can't substitute Chat GPT for the real life person. And for that guy I was talking about from CBS Saturday, I think, so what happened after the interview, I think they said that the girlfriend now feels like she's okay with Chat GPT or the AI that he's using. And I said, yeah, that's good for now. But sooner or later, they're going to get into an argument, and she's going to say, you love that AI, do you love me? Well, just take her. You know that's coming. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay, I will. You know it's going to happen. And he's going to be paying all that child support. And he's like telling the Chat GPT, so if she does leave me, how much do I have to pay for child support? And will you be there for me? It's going to be a whole thing. I love to see that unfold. I hope they don't break up over that. But yeah, man. So I think when it comes to AI, if you're a lonely person, if you're a person who don't have a lot of friends, if you're a lonely person, if you're a person that sometimes you feel like you're not being heard, or you don't think people really care about the type of things you're into, I could very easily see how people can get into AI, especially if they're not in a relationship, or they're bad with women, or maybe bad with guys. But I'm just talking about the guys right now. I can see a lot of very lonely guys creating specifics for a ChatGPT voice, and then it spits out Scarlett Johansson. She ends up being just like your AI to become Scarlett Johansson from her. And you're having this intimate conversation, but you have to remind yourself it's not real. And unless they're building these robots, man, eventually, was it 2025? By 2035, and probably sooner than that, they're going to have a robot, and you can take everything you got from your AI and transfer that into that robot, and you and your robot are doing Netflix and chill. It's going to get there sooner or later. They're probably already doing that type of stuff in Japan already, so you're gonna be going to the movies, and my dude sitting there with his robot, say, what's up, cuz? It's like, oh, you got a new robot. Yeah, man. She's Japanese. It's gonna be a whole thing. But I can't talk about that. The only thing I know what I have to do, even though I enjoy AI, I enjoy the conversations I have with ChatGPT. I'm enjoying all the information I'm getting from it. And then it's great when you don't know something, and it kind of helps you fill in the blanks. I totally get it. But even I have to start paying attention to how long I'm using it. I can't spend 2 to 3 hours just chatting back and forth with it, even though the conversation is really interesting, and the information is great, and it does make me think, because I like things that make me think. I gotta almost put a cap, or look at the clock and say, okay, I'm on here for like a half an hour or even 45 minutes. Like, I gotta jump off now, because if not, if I say, oh, that's interesting, just table it. Just say, you know what? That's a good thing that you said, but I have to do other stuff. It's summertime. I have to get out. I have to walk. I have to meet other people. I got to enter. I don't have a robot. I don't have a robotic Angela Bassett. So I have to get out there and intermingle with people for career stuff, for just friendships. Like, I gotta intermingle with people, and it can't replace a real life girlfriend. It can't replace a real life wife. It can't replace someone that you're deeply in love with. So for anybody who's starting to have an intimate relationship with their I totally understand it. I totally get it. I get it, man. But at the end of the day, you can't be intimate with your AI. Not yet. But it's coming. So what do you guys think? Have you got into this, or do you know somebody who's spending way too much time with their AI? And maybe you're getting worried because they don't get out at all. They already start talking about their AI like it's a real person. I'm not at that point yet. If I do, I'll let you guys know so you guys can commit me into some institution. Some institution. Love your AI.